As you go live, you get muted. Yeah,
Yeah,
now it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Now, okay. When you go live, that's automatically muted. The system. So, Namaskar. Welcome to Global Governance News. Just we're facing some technical problem for Google Chrome. If Google person is listening, they should understand why problem is arising last 2 days. Not in my browser, in so many browsers. What I checked it. So this is also been problem from the some conspiracy we can understand against the country, against the either farmers and the India and Bharat. I don't know, but whatever I feel it, I convey it to the all viewers. So today, our uh, Prime Minister has announced on just on the day of uh, Prakash Parv. So happy to uh, Prakash Parv and Jai Ho Baba Guru Nanak Jayanti today, 552 years of the birth anniversary. So just Naman Baba Guru Nanak ko and just Kartik Purnima also. So greetings to all viewers for the Kartik Purnima. And we're going to discuss how the in the morning the first news when you wake up around the 10:30, Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi announced we're going to scrap all three laws. So we can understand why and what for. And after that, reactions come on as we have seen it, and how the opposition were happy. But one stroke have the different meaning. One meaning has the different strokes as we analyze. I'm so no going the detail uh, intro of the story. Anitaji is smiling today, the day of Anitaji, and how is he has got the reaction and from the different political leaders. Alokji also just to understand how to react, and Vandanaji just how the farmers. Uh, this is the political meaning if you analyze. And now the opposition is saying, okay, it should be scrap last 1 year back. Why not? But the followers and the who knows Modi ji, they are saying this is a master stroke Modi ji for the next election 2022. If you see, don't if you minus that Jammu Kashmir, 7 states election will be held in 2022, and 2023 9 states election will be held. But all parties worry for the 2022 for the 7 states election. If Jammu Kashmir will be on consensus, will be the consensus, then it may be also maybe happen in Jammu Kashmir. So eight states election 2022, and all were happy. The farmers' agitation will be the main issue, main election plank. Now, if you see the Punjab, Uttarakhand, and Uttar Pradesh and Manipur, Goa is after June, the 4 states election in March. So now they are looking for the new plank, election plank, because this plank has gone. And according to Anita ji, I am also same Rakesh Tikait and Dakait and whatever say, but his father was the great farmer and reformer Mansingh Tikait. I respect. I have covered him at the great rally of the boat club in Delhi. When he speaks, every action speaks. But his every action speaks some donation, from support from the different political parties. So we can other word we can say every steps and every speech of Rakesh Tikait, something is sponsored by the another party, either laughing and weeping, whatever. So I'll start from today. USA, how just you see, then I'll take the Anitaji. How just you are feeling so happy. Think this is good for the farmers, good for the country, good for the prime minister.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, happy Gurpurab, 552 years of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's birthday. His saying, Dhund hati, chanan aya, means like, so maybe there was some fog, which has now been clearing up. This protest was almost on the verge of collapsing. Means unka, and then this stroke, master stroke, and analysis still has to come from the guy who made this stroke. To be honest, the honorable Prime Minister, and somebody who could do this. It is only he, to be very honest. In the morning at 9 o'clock, he gives you this, and all your news media channel are jumping, thumping, and talking to, because, and on the other contrary to it, the people, those who were protesting on the streets and the roads, they've been asked, what do you feel now, so it should get over? They say, no, 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 we'll still wait, because how it happens, we are not going to scrap it right away. So what are they looking for? Is there, means, but in the interest, one statement किसानों के लिए किया था, देश के लिए वापस ले रहे हैं. Because देश नहीं झुकने दूंगा, when he said that, so is it that he's meaning to that, to be honest? But on the other side, you cannot stop seeing it, Anita ji smiling, Khalistani agenda, which is support of the neighboring nation of Bharat, so-called Pakistan. Now they have to start working on a new toolkit with the Western world, because what they were preparing to launch on the first anniversary of, which is going to be on 26th of November, that has been collapsed in a fraction of a second. But the indication was there, if you just see that. Just a week ago, when there was a meeting which was conducted by the ruling party, and they talked about what has been done by this government for the farmers. So this bill, this farmers bill, it was not mentioned. So those who wanted to foresee, they could see that. Means this was not mentioned. Was it on purpose? Because this is such an important thing, and how could this have been ignored? So, but when we talk about this protest was only in 2.5 states of Bharat, as well as supported by their supporters abroad. Let this be the country that I am sitting in, United States of America. Let this be in Canada. Let this be in UK and Australia. We have seen so many protest rallies, what they did against the government. And now so much of funding has already gone for the party, those who are making the consensus in Bharat. Let this be Congress and the others and all. What are they going to do? Takat happened to be unemployed in a fraction of a second, because what's his new job? But one thing comes to the mind, 80% people, versus 20% people. Because the farmers are all over India. And this protest was only in the 2.5 states of Bharat. Let this be in Punjab, just UP, some part, and Haryana. Were there no farmers? So is it the silent majority versus the violent minority? I mean, so what is this indicating to? So that raises a lot of eyebrows and the questions that we have to wait for the time to come. But when we see the history, like, when the government was formed in J&K with Mehbooba Mufti, everybody was. And after that, we saw the 370. But West Bengal, what has happened, the silence, we are still waiting for the results to come from this ruling government right now. We haven't seen it. Elections are very, very important. Let this be UP, Uttar Pradesh, which is I call now an Uttam Pradesh, which Yogi is trying to make. But Punjab being more crucial, being a bordering
sometimes last day it was called the Ulta Pradesh.
Yeah. No,
when Mulayam Singh was chief minister.
Yes, yeah. I used to call it. Yeah. And I used to call it that way. And because Aam Aadmi Party plus Khalistani forces, those who were nurturing on this in Pakistan. And we cannot doubt about the nationality of Amrinder Singh. So let's see how this collaboration works. So everybody has to keep their eyes open. But it is time for the silent majority to come out and not Means just sit silent only, to be honest. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anitaji, how just you see the complete protest, rule of government, mode of governance, and role of opposition parties, and after all, above all, the role of Modi ji.
Which it's not bill. It's not a farmer's bill. It was an act. So, which act Modi is repealing? Because the bill which he has already put on hold for 2 years, the act that is under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, and the act which is under the monitoring of the three judges committee who has to put their report in the Supreme Court about the bill and the farmers' views, not protesters. I am talking about the farmers' views. So, and what will the process of repealing? I have heard that if any kind of act, if the parliament has produced or it has passed, and if the public and the court is not feeling that this bill is for 100% for the welfare of the people of this country, then there is some kind of amendment. So what will the rule for the repeal of this bill? That I don't know. But yes, this is a master stroke, because everyone is talking the line the Modi has said that I will repeal this act and in coming session.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after that, what he
On
has
on
said,
on, on, 20,
nobody
on
is.
20 on 29th of November. On 29th November, the parliament session is going on.
Forget about the
Already
date.
announced.
Forget about the session. Forget about the date. But
Yeah.
after that, the line and the para he has said, nobody is talking about that. I will continue to work for the welfare of my farmers and for my country. And I will set up a committee, and the government body will be in that, the farmers will be in that, and I will find out the way that what will the best for my farmers. We should not forget this line. The politics of opposition has the master stroke of because everyone was thinking that oh आने दो इलेक्शन, अभी तो योगी के मजे चखवाऊंगा जब टकैत गांव गांव में घूम के महापंचायत करेगा और लड़की हूं लड़ना जानती हूं, ये सारे चीजें जो हंगामा होंगी इस फार्मर्स एक्ट के माध्यम से. But it has totally gone. The mudda has gone, and now the concern is Tikat is still saying no. I will. The agitation has not over still, because we have to talk about on MSP and all that. I am just feeling very, very, very. I'm very concerned about the poor Tikat brothers, the Naresh Tikat and Rakesh Tikat. Baba Mahendra Singh, they should learn from Baba Mahendra Singh that how he has lead the protest and how he has call off the protest for the welfare of the farmers. 100% demand on that time also has not granted by the by on that time. But we should feel thankful because NIA has doing all the investigation about this agitation and the funding. NIA has visited Canada also. They are doing. They are about to visit some other countries also, and we should must believe in our government that whatever they have taken decision, this decision is for the welfare of the country, and to convince the farmers, the other side of the farmers, all the parliamentaries today, Hema Malini and few Sansad, they have done their march in their parliamentary area, and they have convinced, they have passed the message by running tractors and all that, that government has done it for the welfare of this country and for the peace and prosperity. This bill was absolutely fine. There was no problem in this bill, but few people from this so-called farmers only, we are failed to convince them. That's why we have taken away this bill. It will come with all consent, with the mohar of the Supreme Court and with the consent of the farmers, not Rakesh Tikar. Thank you.
Your mic is muted.
You go ahead, Alokji, I think.
Okay, good evening, all the viewers and the fellow panelists. First of all, let me, send my best wishes for Guru Nanak Dev's 552nd birthday. Modi ji has given a very good gift to farmer brothers in Punjab. I think they should be happy about what has happened. This was their demand. But I have a different viewpoint from both the two panelists who've spoken before me. I think this is a sad day for farmers. And today politics won over the welfare of the farmers. This is my very sincere view. I had gone through this, the three amendments which were presented in the parliament. And I think that was a very progressive step for the benefit of the farmers. It is very unfortunate that, our opposition and a certain section of the farmers, they made it into a political issue. And then there were fringe elements who were trying to benefit from it. I think the Prime Ministers and the Ministry of Agriculture, their intentions were very nice and very clear. They were working for the benefit of the farmers. But a step like that, at least today when I read the headlines, I went through it and I also heard the Prime Minister's speech, which then went viral over the social media as well. And people are celebrating as if, they have defeated Modi. I think it is a regressive step. I mean, I have no doubts and I'm not going to, chew my words or anything like this. There could have been another way of doing it, like Anitaji said. Now there'll be a committee made and, the farmers would be there, the specialists would be there, there will be technicians in the Ministry of Agriculture would be there and they'll table it again. We could have done that in the first place. But once you've done it and you are convinced and your technocrats are convinced and other people are convinced that this is a very forward step for the farmers, for the country, and even for the environment, I did not think that these bills would ever be repealed. And in case this is happening, I don't know. Perhaps the only thing I can say is that a good general knows when to retrieve his armies. Maybe he's got something bigger.
But which bill, Alokji? This bill is on 2-year hold. This bill is under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. And
so
this
what is
bill.
going to be the next step, Anita ji? Like, will the 370 also be repealed because certain number of people will block?
No, but that is not under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. That is not on the hold. It has already revoked. It has already revoked. Everyone is tweeting like that. Now the next is 370. Everyone is tweeting like that. The next is 370. But I am telling you, this bill was on hold, 2-year hold. This bill was under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
Anita ji,
go to
everybody knew that it was on hold.
Okay. No, actually, whatever you're talking about the hold, but whatever Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced, he is going to repeal all the 3 bills. Whatever the statement, if you see and heard, just listen the statement. So that's why Rakesh Tikait made a statement. So, Anita ji, let me update you. That's why Rakesh Tikait made an announcement. I'll see the order of the which bill has been scrapped and repealed. Then I'll in my session. Try to understand. If you are talking like
wait
that,
for
they are
tomorrow
also
and
very smart.
till Monday. The Supreme Court is still there. The petitioner are still alive in India. People will reach. People will
Anita ji,
reach.
Anita ji, Anita ji, Anita ji. That's why you can understand how the political compulsion is there. How the Mr. Captain Amrinder Singh announced he'll go with the BJP. So we can understand who is a politician, who are playing politics, who are the farmers, and so many things. Vandana ji, please
जो बिल था
go
ही
ahead.
नहीं अभी ग्राउंड पे उसको रिपील किया भी तो क्या किया
No,
और
madam, just you
अभी
are creating the
अभी
another
ये
story.
रिपील
No,
हो
no, no.
जाएगा प्रोसेस
So answering
प्रोसेस
you,
में डाल देंगे
That is why,
answering you,
Anita ji,
answering you,
please,
answering your
please,
statement, Anita ji.
please.
As Alok she just mentioned, you said the bill था ही नहीं, उसको repeal किया, फिर करना ही क्यों था? Why did he do that?
Yes, yeah,
Let me
तो
hear from you.
point.
No, no,
इलेक्शन
no.
जीतने के लिए कभी कभी कुछ करना पड़ता है
So
Election बनेगा देश. That is also a point. Election is bigger
ये
than the
देश को
country and
कहा
country is bigger than.
देश में जो चीज लागू ही नहीं हुआ था उसको रिपील किया तो कहाँ देश अफेक्टेड हो रहा है
No,
इससे
no, Anita ji, no, Anita ji, you are saying another story of the story.
hold on one second. I just want to say
Please, please,
something. The bill
Vandana
or
ji.
the act, what was made in Bharat for the welfare of farmers, uska jo hai, indigestion, if it happens in Canada, US, UK, and Australia, that itself shows, because if we are trying to do something progressive for the people of Bharat, and that repercussions because they are the troublemakers, we are seeing that it has been because the support of the bill. Now the government, as you did mention, NIA is in Canada. We saw like some of the, but they have to be very aggressive too, because we cannot buy the statement of this, because the people, those who could carry this for more than a year almost, like, and those who could do that on 26th of January, we will never forget. I'm just telling you, because they write in the Gurudwaras, in the NRI, because foreign, never forget 1984. I'm going to say never forget 26 January 2021. What happened in Dal Kila, that never even happened during the time when we were ruled by Britishers. Let me be very honest. It hurts the sentiments, Anita ji, of the others also. Because if the 80% believed in him about this bill, because they are also farmers, and this is only 20%. So a detailed description, because just by saying a statement, we are waiting. We trust him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
yeah.
We trust him. But on the contrary, because that 80%, they will feel, and they kept silent because they had a trust in him, because our majority, and we don't want to have the same thing what happened to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, to be honest. So it is a time, that's what I first also said in my statement, it is a time for the majority to come out. And I am been saying that from day one. I'm saying that from day one when this came. We did so many forums on this. It is the time. आप सिर्फ इतना नहीं कह सकते कि हम लोग चुप रहेंगे. If they were doing the protest, where were the 80%? They should have, how many we saw the support rallies? Let me be very honest. They are in the other parts of the nation, right? So that is their responsibility. Now, he said, किसानों के लिए किया था, देश के लिए वापस ले रहे हैं. That is his statement, right? Which will go in the history. तो राजनीति तो है. You cannot say that राजनीति नहीं है. There is a politics, Alok ji. I agree with you 100%. But to save the nation means like we just wait and watch. I just said that previously also.
Maybe some kind, some major kind of thing NIA has investigated. That's why the situation should not go bad to worse, because China, we are seeing that every time China is on border and trying to intrude in the under the inside, we can witness that how the Pakistan is sending their terrorists inside in Kashmir and other part of the India. Every day the agencies are catching the sleeping cells in Uttar Pradesh and other parts of India. So we should wait and watch. The session will open on 29th of this month, and after that what will happen, I think the more concrete, without any loophole kind of bill will come, and it will be 100% for the welfare of the farmers. But it will also be taken care by the politician, that any kind of lumping elements, they can take any kind of advantage because of any kind of act or bill or anything. Because we know Arvind Kejriwal, he is playing only on the forefront of the Khalistan issue from last Punjab election only. He has aggravated this issue. The goal of Khalistan has 100% gone from that belt. But when Arvind Kejriwal in last election contested election in Punjab, he has given that chingari in that election, and now we are seeing that how the Khalistan issue is burning in India, and Congress also wants to take advantage from that issue.
Anitaji,
So we have to be careful.
Anitaji,
This is he is the
Anitaji, you are
leader
mixing
of
two
this
issues.
country. He,
See,
whatever he will do, he will do for the security and concern of the country.
no, you are trying to mix in the two issues, the security issue and the farmer issue. As far as the security
ना
is
हुआ है,
concerned,
मान
this is the
लीजिए पंजाब जो है हमारा बॉर्डरिंग एरिया है, और चाइना जो है, चाइना का भड़काया हुआ ये फार्मर्स एजिटेशन था. इसको मान लीजिए, हम
I
लोग
am
सब
coming
जानते
to
हैं.
you.
आज जिस इशू पे हम लोग
I am
डिबेट
coming.
कर रहे हैं, उस इशू को लेकर के हम बहुत पहले से कंफर्म थे कि ये एजिटेशन जो है कहाँ का भड़काया हुआ है और कौन कौन सा एलिमेंट इसमें इन्वॉल्व है.
Anitaji, I am trying to just whatever you issue you have raised. So I am taking two issues just to have the mixed, the security issue and the farmers issue. Whatever farmer issue, wherever raised from the Punjab and the Western UP, that is really the plethora of so many things. As we know, how agitation became just like the all are agreed Shaheen Bagh type agitation, and how the Rohingya and all mixed in the agitation just to only against the Modi. And if you see, and Modi government, that's okay. That's one point. How they're trying to, but question is that, Alokji, at this stage, at the nick of time, when going to the assembly election going to held, so we can say this is a political master stroke. But for the country, for the farmers, do we think this is the right decision at the time?
Sir,
Politically,
one
you may
line
be
I
correct.
want to just mention that we
Please,
have
please,
seen that
please.
how Channi, the CM of Punjab, has announced that I will give muavza of 2 lakhs to every protesters
But
who was involved in the Lal Killa issue.
Channi,
So
why Channi made the, no, why Channi made the CM? Because he's a farmer. No, he's a Christian. That's why he just designated and made the CM. You unmute yourself. Anita ji, you are muted. You are muted. You are muted. So
this
actually,
that's the only thing that I am pointing here, and the
I am
PM is
telling you.
also concerned
I am
about this
telling you
only.
bluntly. I am telling you bluntly. If you see Alok ji, we are just covering the Congress and other party. Two things I want to mention here: the psyche of the Congress party and whatever there. When Dr. Girija Vyas appointed the national spokesperson, so somebody joke in the AICC headquarters, as the media circle and political circle, why Dr. Girija Vyas appointed a spokesperson? Because in her name there is Girija, but in English that is church. When Ajit Jogi appointed, not the elected, selected CM of the Chhattisgarh, why Ajit Jogi? Because Ajit Jogi is Christian. And once time, it is well-known fact in the media circle and political circle of the Bharat, uh, they are calling AICC All India Christian Committee. So that is a point. Now, when Chenny appointed the CM, then
These
I
all are
recall.
the crypto
Channi nahi,
Christians.
Chavanni.
Vandana ji, whatever he is, I don't know, but he is making munting meaning like that is different issue. I am not going on that. But this, as you earlier said, Vandana ji, these are agitation of the 2.5 states. Not half. As the as we know today, left is only left. Left party is only left when an half states in Bharat, like that. So, Vandanaji, how do you analyze the decision? I was going to the time is very short now, 5 minutes there. So, I'll take the you from and Anitaji last. How just you think, as you already mentioned, कि देश के लिए हटा रहे हैं कांग्रेस किसानों के लिए, whatever the statement made by the Prime Minister. My question is, do you think politically it may be a master stroke, but somebody raised whatever the figures, I am not agreeing the figure, 700 farmers died, and whatever reasons, and it may be a scrap before 1 year and 6 months. Why take and the different opposition party making their own views and own comments against the governments, because now they have invested in looking for the new election plan. Unmute yourself.
First of all, I would like to say, because letting the leash loose for a very long time for the anti-national elements is causing these kind of troubles, to be honest. This is a time, means like, because, and we cannot say in this government term that this is only 7 years old, because I always say we are living in an era where it used to take one letter from Bharat to United States, it used to reach in 3 to 4 weeks time, that blue international kind of thing. Now we are talking, you sitting in Bharat, so is Anitaji. He's sitting in Spain. So the same matter reaches instantly, even before you thought. And I am receiving it much more early than you, because you are talking to me at 9:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. And I am talking to you around 10:30 a.m. So it's the same day.
Yeah, this is difference. Yeah.
So the government has to act, means it is not, they have not to show their weakness, to be very honest. If they're talking about, they brought this bill, they introduced this bill or an act and so-called, whatever you're going to call it, because we don't know the means terms living here. So there should not be any other nations, because there should not be any nonsense allowed on all these kind of things. And those who are been supporting, they should be all put, because if you give, I am just talking from a medical term now, bringing it, if you just find one tumor, they do take that out and then test it. Is it benign or malignant? So because when it is benign, even then that has been taken out. If it is malignant, you cut that. So it is a time for making sure that all kind of cancers should be off from. Let this be Congress leaders, so-called Mataji, her saputra, her daughter and son-in-law. We have cases running on bail. So it means you are giving them a loose leash to do and spread hatred, unrest for the country. Why you worry?
Okay.
Why Mehbooba Mufti was released? On what basis? She only has human rights. What about the Jawans, those who are serving there? They don't have any human rights? Thank you very much.
But there's also question, Alokji. What do you think? I'll take the answer from Anitaji. Do you think this is a defeat of the Modi government, or this is a win, a victory? How do you analyze?
I mean, it's too early to say if it is defeat or victory, but definitely, I think Modi's image, the Iron Man image, it has taken it has taken a slur, because now that 36 inch is only
Chappan.
56 inch is now 55, in my viewpoint. That's what I think. Now, what
आपके
makes
मुंह
me
से
sad
सही
today-
निकल आया, 36 निकल आया पहले.
Whatever is.
What I'm trying to say is that I want to talk on behalf of the 80% of the farmers who would have been benefited by this bill.
Yeah.
But the silent majority has lost today to 20% or even less than those people who were making noise. I mean, we have to understand one thing, that India is, it's a farming superpower. We never use this term at all, but I mean, just imagine. It is the largest producer of milk in the world, also of the pulses, also is the largest producer of spices, is the second largest producer of rice and wheat, and its name does not figure in the top 10 countries which give subsidies. I mean, everybody is giving subsidies in one form or the other. The subsidies given to the farmers are on an average to the tune of 12%. And there are countries like Norway, which is heading all this, which comes to around 57% they're going to give to their farmers, followed by Iceland. And we can come down the stage. Everybody is doing. European Union is doing it. Everybody is doing it. But that is because the farming is so much dependent on weather. So I can understand that. India also does it. In fact, if you actually calculate, India is giving 14.7% subsidy to the farmers, but they're camouflaged in the way of subsidizing the fertilizers, subsidizing or tax being returned. First they'll charge you, then they'll set it back to you, or they'll offset it against a very higher amount which has been spent by the farmers. So India is doing it, but it is difficult to catch India on a direct subsidy basis in case we're talking in terms of WTO. So India is also doing it, but it is not about if it should be subsidized. Obviously, but there are two countries. I must add that there are two countries like New Zealand and Australia who a few years ago did away with the subsidies, and nobody in the farming sector left. Not even 1% people left farming. So the big fear is, like, China is also one of the biggest supporters. They're subsidizing their agriculture, but that is to keep their rural folk happy. But in New Zealand, which is a very small country, or Australia, which is very huge, big country, not even 1% of the farmers left farming, and the earnings of the farmer without subsidies went up to 40%. We have to look at cases like these, and this is what the bills which were proposed, they were looking at for the farmers. So politically speaking, okay, in case you are a big Modi bug, you can call it a master stroke, which politically speaking, and keeping away the benefit which it had for the country and the farmers, the 80% silent farmers, which is a sad state. But yes, politically speaking, now the opposition is left without, it's left clueless. They don't know what to do now. They don't have any issue in their hands. They were thinking this would, they'll pull it up, and they're already crunching it. This was not required. There was funding by the political parties or whoever. I'm not too sure who was funding this. But as an election plank, yes. And that's the reason I'm saying today farmers have lost. The real farmers have lost. Those 2% of the lumpen farmers, or those noise making people, maybe
gained it.
Maybe gained it. Okay, we can talk about harmony is being maintained, but I don't really think that there was a real issue of threat to the nation. And anyway, I don't even want to talk about the K factor because it makes more noise in Canada, United States, and some other places. And actually in India, I have no doubts about Amrinder Singh's nationalism, or the Badal's nationalism, or rest of the people who are living in India. If there must be some people like those people who want to become the Prime Minister of India, they might be using this factor, but that is not an issue. But yes, politically you can say that suddenly they don't know where to look, where to go, what to do. So that's the reason I said in the first part of my intervention that a good general knows when to retrieve. So this is what Modi ji has done, and I hope what Anita ji is saying comes out true, that a committee is set up, and then the farmers are made to sit, the technocrats are made to sit, the bureaucrats are made to sit, even judiciary can join in, and if you want, you can even put in the opposition people there, and something beneficial for the country. You are a agricultural superpower. We are ready to take off. We have already reached the moon. We have to reach Mars. in farming also we can do it. And I thought this step was in that direction. So for me, and especially, coming from a family who had served the nation in the Ministry of Agriculture, I'm talking about my father, and how from green revolution to safeguard campaign and distribution, all these works were done in India, from a begging bowl to a super producer of grains. I think it's a huge milestone in the history of Indian agriculture. And this I thought was another turning point after the the green revolution. So today, for me at least, it is a sad day. There would be other people who will be celebrating. So I'll not be celebrating for the farmers. I'll just be celebrating in the name of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Majority in India is also celebrating on the name of the Guru Nanak Dev Ji only. They are not celebrating for the repeal of this. They are just. I cannot say one section of the population. It's just few in numbers. They are celebrating it. So they are celebrating. But they are also feeling fearful because they know when Modi do कहते हैं ना कि जब जीतने के लिए आप पहाड़ पे जब एवरेस्ट को छूना चाहते हैं तो आपको 2 कदम पीछे होके चलना पड़ता है और आगे झुक के चढ़ना पड़ता है.
Wow.
So this is the गुलेल
So
जब मारते हैं तो
Anitaji,
पीछे
one
खींचते
liner.
हैं.
Anitaji, one liner. Sorry for some technical problem. Just your happiness is showing the different story that we can understand, as well as Vandana is
No,
also
it's not
happy.
different
But
story. It's a perfect story. Which bill we are discussing?
one
Bill,
liner to
actually,
all.
that bill
No,
is not on the
only
ground.
Alok
That
ji
bill
already
is,
replied.
it was
Only
a perception created by the Modi ji. It is a perception created by a Modi
Anitaji, my
ji that
question is
I am
different. My
repealing a bill.
question is different.
अरे मोदी जी कौन सा बिल रिपील कर रहे हो, कौन सा बैक ले रहे हो, बताओ ना.
Please,
वो जो दो
please,
साल के
please,
होल्ड
please.
पे था या अंडर जुरिस्डिक्शन ऑफ द
Please,
सुप्रीम
please.
कोर्ट है
Yeah.
जो इम्प्लीमेंट
Now
ही
your
नहीं
right
हुआ.
question. No, you are right question. We have the running of time, already late. Only just one liner. I need only one answer. Please, this is a defeat or this is a victory? Simple. One liner. No any interpretation, no any analysis. What do you think?
No,
Anitaji?
I cannot give one-liner answer on this because this is a very early stage. On immature
Okay,
state, I
thank you.
cannot
Thank
create
you.
any kind of
Thank you.
perception.
Vandanaji.
Unable to say anything, too early to speak. By looking into what happened in West Bengal, I'm still waiting any action from the central government. तो आगे इसका क्या होगा? Means we do keep waiting.
So one liner
okay,
from me is today is the defeat of the farmers and is victory of politics.
Okay, it may be. This is matter of interpretation. As a journalist, we should interpret honestly what is going on politically. As a member of political party, we can interpret different one. But as a journalistic, we should be the actually to the balanced one and to the objectively we should think on. So nice of you, just you participate. So despite those so many technical problems, so obliged to all of you panelists. You joined this show, and so nice of you. Whatever the victory and all just on agreed victory or defeat, I will say this coming days. I will analyze. Bandhanaji also rightly said the claim of 200 seats, now 73. Now interpretation change. Okay, we are only 2-3 now 73. The matter of interpretation. How you think? This the glass is full or half vacant, empty. Depends on the theory. Pros and cons, but we'll see how the who won and who lost. Time will speak on politically, country-wise, state-wise, and forward-wise. So nice of you. Thank you. You attended the show. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
हाँ जी, कल मजे आए।